What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2008 movie, The American Mole. So, in this movie, Allie is an optimistic adolescent singer-songwriter whose hardworking mother owns the mall music shop frequented by every teen in town. When Allie shares her music with Joey, a janitor in the mall who harbors rock star ambitions, she is thrilled to find someone who can truly relate to her songs as well as her heart. And trouble looms on the horizons, however, in the form of the mall's owner's spoiled daughter, Rotten Madison. Madison is the kind of girl who's used to getting whatever she wants, and what she wants now could prove disastrous for both Ellie's ambitions and her mother's popular music store. So this is a pretty fun time. This is a movie that I've always really liked. I kind of feel like it's an underrated movie. It was a made-for-TV movie on MTV. It's from the producers of High School Musical and everything, so it has a lot of the same beats as High School Musical and everything, but when I was a teenager, I ate movies like that up and everything. I still love High School Musical to this day and everything. And I don't feel this movie has aged as well as High School Musical has and everything, but the story is decent enough. The cast are all pretty good in here. I really like Nina Dobrev as Allie, though. She's one of the highlights of the movie. She's great and everything. She does a really great job playing the quiet, shy girl and everything. Rob Hayes is very charismatic and likable as Joey. I never really understood why he didn't make it bigger as an actor and everything. I thought he had a lot of potential and everything. He's done stuff since this movie that I haven't seen, but he was pretty good and everything. And Autumn Reeser as Madison is really good too. I absolutely hate the character of Madison. She's out of early 2000s Mean Girls. I think she's one of the ones I hate the most and everything. It's a big trope in the early 2000s that you have the typical mean girl and everything. High School Musical had Sharpay, Camp Rock had Tess, and this movie has Madison. And Madison, I think, is the worst of the three and everything. She's just a really, really snobby, stuck-up rich girl. I can't stand her and everything. And she kind of drags the movie down a little bit for me and everything. I think because of how much I hate the character, but Autumn Reeser does a really good job playing her. The songs in here are really catchy. A lot of them are really, really good bops and everything. The musical numbers themselves don't make a lot of sense, but the songs are really, really catchy and everything. I love that. And I love the mall setting too. As a teenager, I used to love going to the mall and everything. So that mall setting was great too and everything. And a lot of this movie just takes me back to my high school years and everything, so I have a lot of nostalgia for it. But I do have quite a bit of negatives too. I do love this movie. It is definitely far from flawless and everything. The movie is full of cliches and everything. Like I said, it's from the producer of High School Musical, and it follows a lot of the same beats as High School Musical. Shy girl meets a guy and everything. This time he's a janitor instead of a basketball boy and everything. He's not a popular dude or anything like that. So there is a little bit of difference, but the boy meets girl, they fall in love, and someone tries to come between them. It has some of the elements from High School Musical too, with with Madison trying to steal him away from Allie and everything. Although it works in this movie, where in High School Musical Troy didn't go to Sharpay and stuff. And everything, and that's one of the big negatives I have with this movie. Like I don't like that Joey just leaves Allie and everything like that. And I love the chemistry between them and between Nina Dobrev and Rob Hayes and everything. But Joey is with Madison throughout half of this movie and everything, and that kind of hurt the movie and everything. Like at the beginning of the second act and everything, they get separated and they're not on screen together throughout most of the movie, and I think that kind of hurts the movie. I think they should have developed their relationship a little bit better and everything. What we got was really good, but I think it could have been even better and everything. I didn't really like that they were split out, and like I said before, Madison is one of the most annoying Mean Girl characters out there. I can't stand her and everything. She gets on my nerves, and every time I watch the movie, she makes me mad and everything. She's like one of those characters I love to hate. And the ending isn't the best. If you haven't seen the movie and you don't want to know spoilers, I'd recommend turning the video off now, because I'm going to talk a little bit about the ending and everything. But in the end of the movie, they're having this talent show thing, and Madison goes out to do her part and everything she was supposed to be doing with Joey, but Joey decides last minute not to do it and everything after giving a half-assed apology to Allie. And so Madison's playing, but trying to sing and everything. She's making a fool out of herself because she has no one playing backup music and helping her and everything. So Allie goes and helps her and everything, just because she's a really sweet character and everything. But I don't feel like Madison deserved her help and everything. And then the way the movie ends, they kind of just act like she's best friends with him, which is a little bit of something they did with High School Musical in the first one. Sharpay is just all of a sudden nice to him and everything. There was something missing there, and that was the one thing about High School Musical 1 that I will say is missing a little bit. There should have been like a scene where she talked to Troy and Gabriella and everything, and it would have made it a little bit better. And everything, they made up for that in High School Musical 2, but in 3, I think Sharpay got way better as the movies progressed. Everything. This movie didn't have the sequels to have Madison redeem herself, and I felt like her redemption in this movie was not earned at all whatsoever, and everything. I don't think it was done very well, and I don't really think Joey really deserved to get Allie back either. Like he left her to go with Madison because he knew that it could make him rich and famous and stuff, and I don't really like that. Like the whole movie, you can tell he doesn't like what he's doing and stuff, but he doesn't really show that he's sorry and stuff. And his apology is lame, and Allie even mentions that his apology is lame. And by the end of the movie, she just accepts it and everything. And I didn't really like that and everything. And they kind of left some things open-ended and stuff, like them losing the store and everything. It's never really said whether they work things out with Madison to keep the store, or if it was still being closed down and everything. And there are things with her mother that was kind of unresolved. Her mom is the stereotypical mother that doesn't believe in her daughter's dreams and stuff, doesn't think she's good enough and shouldn't follow her dreams of being a singer and stuff. Really cliched stuff, and they don't really go anywhere with that either. They don't really, she kind of makes up and tells her she just wants her to be happy and stuff, but it doesn't feel genuine and stuff. And maybe that's partially because the acting from her mother is not very great. She's one of the worst actresses in the movie and everything. But I feel like the ending just could have been better. And there's some ED jokes in here that have aged poorly. They weren't funny back when the movie came out, and they're really not funny now. It just, the jokes are really in poor taste, not very funny at all, and everything. And I don't deny that I love the songs, but the way that the movie just jumps into the musical numbers is weird. Like you could tell they didn't know how to transition into the musical numbers and everything. They just kind of pop out of nowhere and everything. And I love the songs, but it's like, I don't know that this was the best well-written musical. Like, as far as getting the musical numbers out there and stuff, they just kind of happen and stuff. And the song that Madison sings, I think it's called The New You or whatever, that song is the only song in the movie that I really can't stand. But part of that is also just because I can't stand Madison, I think, too, and everything. Another thing I forgot to mention, my positive, is that I do like a lot of the side characters. I don't remember any of their names. I remember each and every one of them, but I don't remember their names and everything. That's one thing that kind of sucks about the movie, is the side characters are memorable, but their names aren't as memorable. I don't remember their names. They don't have the same impact as the side characters in, say, like High School Musical did and everything. I know I'm comparing it a lot to that, but this movie is trying to be like High School Musical set in a mall and everything, so that's why I kind of have been comparing it so much. But I do think that the characters were likable and stuff, though, and everything. You got the boy that hangs out with the girls and stuff, and they tell him he's like one of the girls, and he gets so annoyed with them and everything. You can tell he's annoyed being the only guy in their group and everything, but he's really funny and likable and stuff. And then all of Allie's friends are really likable, but all of Joey's friends are really likable too and everything. So I like that and everything. There's some really silly moments and stuff that security guards are all acting like they're having a shootout with each other with their hands at the beginning of the movie. It really sets the tone of the movie that it's going to be really campy and silly and everything, and I like that and everything. Like I said, there's a lot that I like about this movie, and there's a lot that I don't. I kind of think it's an underrated movie from the early 2000s that I think if nostalgia didn't play a part in it, I probably wouldn't like it near as much as I do. But it's a good enough time. And I was also just a couple days ago, I found out that Allie, Nina Dobrev, which I always knew she didn't do her own singing because it was just very obvious that it wasn't really her singing and stuff. But I found out that it was Katy Perry that did her singing and stuff. She was her singing double and everything. And I'm like, I never noticed it because it doesn't sound like Katy Perry. And even this last time I watched it, I was like, that does not sound like Katy Perry at all. And everything. I can't believe she did the singing for this movie when you can't tell it's her voice at all. And everything. I don't know how they changed her voice or what they did, but it worked and everything. But that was also one of the things about the movie is the singing is kind of on Allie's character. The voice isn't bad, but her voice, Katy Perry's voice, doesn't match Nina Dobrev and everything, and you could tell that she was lip singing and everything. It wasn't as authentic as it was like in High School Musical when Drew Seeley did the singing for Troy and stuff, and Zac Efron was able to pull that off way better than Nina Dobrev did and everything. But all in all, this is a fun time. I think it's an underrated TV movie from the early 2000s. It's one that I don't know anybody that has seen it or anything. But I've always had a soft spot for it and everything, and it's a fun enough time and everything. So I'm going to say that I give it a 7 out of 10. It probably deserves like maybe a 6, but I'm going to give it a 7 just because of the nostalgia and how much I really enjoy the music in this movie and everything. The musical numbers, even though they don't make sense the way they're transitioned into the movie, are part of what makes this movie so good, though, and everything for me. And everything. So I think The American Mall is a fun enough time. And if you haven't seen it, you like High School Musical and stuff like Camp Rock and the other movies from back then, you might like this one. It's a little bit more mature and everything because it was a MTV movie instead of a Disney Channel movie. So it has a little bit more to it than those movies did and everything. But I think you'll like it and everything. So I'm gonna say I'd give it a 7 out of 10. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of The American Mall, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.